in Brazil are you?
From the south,
На юге?
Porto Alegre.
Присаживайтесь, пожалуйста.
This is the grave we're looking for. We don't know if it's still
Это
exists.
могила, они знают, что она есть, но не знают, где она.
Да. Да.
I wish I could start from the beginning, but I didn't know where it was. What I knew was that I was born in Brazil, but grew up hearing that my family came from Russia. Later on, I discovered it was actually Bessarabia, a region surrounded by Russia, Ukraine, and Romania. Oh, and I was Jewish. Jews have been in Bessarabia as early as the 1500s. Life was hard, there was a lot of prejudice and persecution. In 1903, the infamous Kishinev pogrom, the first state-inspired action against Jews in the 20th century, propelled mass immigration to different parts of the globe. Some went to the US, others to Palestine, and a few to South America. In 1931, my grandparents, Avrum Moishe and Rachel Topolar, arrived in Brazil. In 1937, with the advent of the fascist-oriented Estado Novo government in Brazil, immigration became very restricted, making it more difficult for other Topolars to cross the Atlantic. Half of the family managed to go to Brazil, but the other half stayed. Most of them ended up disappearing in the Holocaust. The Topolars in Brazil raised their families in its southern capital, Porto Alegre. And Avrum co-founded the first Jewish newspaper in the country, the Menschheit, the Mankind. My grandparents had my father, Mauro, in 1938. Mauro married Rejane and had me, Cássio, in 1975, and my sister Carly in 1976. My grandparents on my father's side passed away before we were born. I never met them. In 1991, something happened. The Iron Curtain came down, and part of what was once Bessarabia and former Soviet Republic became the independent Republic of Moldova. The end of the Soviet Union opened doors to visitors in Eastern Europe. I was finally able to begin my quest and understand the connection between a boy in Brazil and his grandfather in a faraway land. Going back to the past was impossible, but I could still try to see in person something that proved his existence in this land. In 2008, my father and sister agreed to join me in a trip to Moldova. I hoped that my father's memory might be jogged and that he could share things he may have heard from his parents, and I needed my sister's help with that. We were, after all, looking for the beginning.
Vamos ver se funciona o nosso SIM card. Agora o nosso quem quiser ligar pra gente na Moldávia é só ligar 6877-5911. O cartão, o chip, vamos ver se vai ligar. Aqui tem que seguir uns passos ali, isso aqui tá só em romeno e em russo.
Добрий вечір. Olha, foi para o Brasil aqui difícil não. Eu imaginei que eu ia estar aqui. Só em fantasia que pensava em estar aqui. O que era um sonho se tornou realidade, né?
Natasha Alhazova was our guide and interpreter. Natasha is not Jewish, but is very involved in the local Jewish community and is as interested in its heritage as we are. She explained a lot of things about Moldova and helped us navigate around the country.
And up. So we say upper city and lower city.
So Moldova is a very small country. The population used to be 4 million, but now with very many migrant workers, there's less. Well, Moldova was always either a part of Romania or a part of Russia. The population is split, part of it more oriented to Romania and part to Russia. So there is no strong consolidated identity. We may speak different languages. Many people are bilingual, some are trilingual. I speak Russian at home. I am half Ukrainian, married to an Armenian, teaching American literature. When I'm in the street, I address people in Romanian mostly.
Is there anything that brings Moldovans together?
Our beautiful land and our wish not to be the poorest country in the world.
Young people prefer to go and work abroad because they don't see much future here, and they don't see much future because industry did not function. And now it is getting back, but slowly.
Caught between wars and having a fragmented identity, Moldova seemed a country with troubled memories of its own history.
It was a stadium. During the Second World War in 1941, 42 and 43, people were killed here. This was one of
only Jewish.
mainly. Can we drive?
Yeah.
Yes. Поехали. Дальше и едем налево. Actually, Chisinau is 760 years old, but nothing remained from that time.
Meu pai não falava sobre a Bessarabia. Nunca me disse, né, o que tinha acontecido.
The event that made my grandfather leave Bessarabia was the same one that made us come back. Before leaving, my grandfather took a last picture with his brother Yeshai. Both are seen next to the grave of their parents. My great-grandparents, Meir and Ene Tolpolar. If we knew almost nothing about Bessarabia, this grave was also a mystery. Any information about it was lost in time. Where was the cemetery? Why did they take this picture? What lives were these? Meir and Ene had a grocery shop and planted tobacco in the village of Olishkani. In 1930, they were robbed and murdered by their own employees, who hanged Meir and Ene in the shop and left with all the money. We had to find the grave.
Толполар, що-то я не встретил такого.
Yeah. He didn't see Tolpolar.
Knowing that our family history was not in Chisinau, it was time to head towards the countryside, where many shtetls could once be found. It's hard to believe I belong to the history of such a distant region of the world, so remote from my reality. I can only relate to my grandparents through pictures, a few stories, and imagination. Comparing their pictures with mine, you can see we came from different realities.
Uma era culto, ele tinha amigos, ele gostava de falar sobre cultura judaica.
E era o irmão mais chegado da minha mãe. Foi o único irmão que não se desligou, que se correspondia.
Teu avô, o Moishe, até hoje visito até no cemitério. Cada vez que eu vou, deixo uma pedrinha lá para ele.
Tá meio torto o microfone?
Our first destination was Yedinets, where my grandfather's brother, Yeshaya, used to live.
Desde pequena a gente ouvia muito a minha mãe falar na família dela, lá da Rússia. O orgulho deles era o tio Shai, que era o que estudou, que se formou farmacêutico.
Não vieram para o Brasil porque não precisavam fazer América. Estavam bem de vida, porque só veio para cá quem era pobre, né? Quem tinha dinheiro não veio para cá.
Вы родились в Бразилии?
Were you born in Brazil?
Yeah,
В 38-м.
first generation.
You had naches, you had your luck that you left before the war and you remained alive.
And his cousin, the son of his father's brother, was born in Yedinets. Fima Tolpolar.
As far as we knew, Yeshaya's son, Fima, was the last Topolar to leave Moldova. Fima immigrated to Israel in 1991, so in Yedinets, the Topolar's history was more recent. Maybe somebody could give us some information.
This is the grave we're looking for. We don't know if it still
Это
exists.
могила, они знают, что она есть, но они не знают, где она, они ее ищут.
Of my grandparents.
Это его...
Да, но в Единцах мы не слыхали этой фамилии.
Moja now.
This is the Yednitz cemetery. There is an old one and a new one. The record. It was not complete, but we can see.
Это по алфавиту или это по
По рядам. По
рядам.
рядам написано. Вот это первый ряд, вот написано. Кучер, Акерман. Вот второй ряд. There is no. So let's go to see. Maybe you'll find somebody. A brother of my grandmother lives also in Brazil.
You know where in
Moishe.
Brazil?
Huh?
You know where in Brazil?
No, I don't know. Maybe if my father knows and uncle, I don't know.
There are like 200,000 Jews in Brazil. The bigger part of the Jewish community is in São Paulo.
Pai trouxe o boné dele.
No.
Maybe no. No, it's written down.
Pai, tu não quer sentar?
Não, tá bem aqui na sombra.
So we have visited the cemetery and Edik helped us.
Что вы нашли из того, что вас интересует?
Нашли
Хоть что-то?
вашего отца.
Ну, наш отец, это когда заходите, он как визитная карточка кладбища. Лучше бы он был живой, да, но...
Efim Ackerman didn't know of any Topolars, but he did have a trick up his sleeve, Anna Filipona.
Вам что-то говорит вот это имя и фамилия? Да.
And we will go to Anna Filipovna and she
Значит,
knows
в общем-то, мы
everybody
сейчас
here.
подъедем туда, к стадиону. Она сидит дома и ждет, да?
Я ничего не поняла. Мне соседка
Сейчас
вчера
все
так
расскажем.
Заходите.
And this is Anna Filipovna. Да, Единецкие.
Хотите, чтобы от меня...
Okay, what do you want from me? What can I tell you?
I want to know if you know any family with the family name Tolpolar.
Знаете
Anybody?
ли вы что-то про людей по фамилии Толполар?
Нет.
And now we are very few Jewish
Я
people.
волонтер еврейской
And I'm a
общины.
volunteer with the Jewish community. community.
Маленькая.
But everybody is old in the Jewish
Молодых
community.
нет.
There are no young people. There were whole streets of Jewish people.
Единц — это еврейское
Единец
местечко.
is a shtetl.
Здравствуйте.
Они были портные, да, портные, сапожники.
Shoemakers,
Да.
hairdressers, mostly Jewish.
Да, яйки там
When we
один
came,
пек.
there was a person who was making bagels.
Да, да. Теперь такие не умеют.
До свидания.
Пока.
Пока.
Счастливо вам.
Пока. Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Кассио. Кошка.
Anna Filipona helped us find Semyon Mikhailovich, who was Fima's neighbor and knew where his old house was.
I was 9.5 years old when the Second World War started.
Yeshaya never left Yedinets. He had a decent life as a pharmacist. But like his brothers and sisters, he ended up murdered in World War II. Fima, his son, only survived because he was injured in the Soviet army and taken to a hospital in Moscow. We didn't yet know what had happened to his younger brother, Sioma.
Isso a minha mãe falava muito no Sioma. Estudou medicina, disse que era um bom médico.
Tinha uma senhora e uma viúva e uma filha casada que eram de Yernitz e que vieram depois da guerra. Que ela usou essa expressão assim: "Oi, weis mir der idischer Doktor", porque eu falei do Fima, do Sioma, e ela se lembrava do meu tio Shai, mas ela disse assim: sabe que o Sioma tinha atendido, que tinha atendido ela.
From the evacuation he came, so this is the house.
This one?
Of course it did not look this way. They added, so those who bought it made a cafeteria in it. And in the front room here there was a pharmacy, and that was the house. He was a child then, and he was born here 2 houses further.
Завод «Процесс». Коллега, комсом цементу дома.
Здравствуйте.
Это из Бразилии.
Да?
Их дедушка был братом бывшего хозяина аптеки. Здесь, где мы жили, мы же купили после войны. А уже много лет спустя вы купили.
Да. Ну, будем знакомы тогда.
Да.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте. Как вас зовут?
Меня зовут Кассио.
Очень приятно. А это ваша супруга?
Нет, это сестра.
Я не понимаю.
Не понимаете?
А это сестра.
You look very much like Fima, Maura.
People told
This is Simeon, and this is Maura.
Meyer, Mauer. Ja, sprechen Sie Jiddisch?
Jiddisch?
Ja.
Stardi.
Ich habe ein bisschen.
Ну, mit dem Sachen verstehen.
Okay. Bekommen einen Advokat. Fima.
Да. Größer Advokat. Ja. Jeder Advokat.
Mauro met Fima in 1994 in Israel. Fima said that he raised a fortune working 45 years as a high-ranking lawyer, but had to leave everything to the Russians when he moved to Israel.
Quando houve a glasnost, quando abriu a Rússia, ele disse que quis vir embora para que não acontecesse com ele o que aconteceu com o Sioma.
Eu levei uma foto do túmulo dos meus avós. O Fima se espantou quando viu a foto e disse: pô, esse é meu pai. Era o pai do Fima, do outro lado do túmulo. E, quer dizer, eu acho que ele nunca tinha visto essa foto.
Fima passed away in 2000. I never met him.
So they say that they would like to serve something to you. They have a soup. I think you are. Спасибо большое. Мы поняли.
Знает? Мы не знаем.
К сожалению. Вы будете прочитать.
das einen Futter. Primas Vater zusammen.
Sehr typisch gewesen. До обзыгов.
Ты завтра передашь ему сам, хорошо?
У нас председатель.
До свидания. Счастливо.
До свидания. До свидания.
Seeing Yeshaya's house, the father of Fima and Sioma, was incredible. But we still needed to find the grave. My grandmother was born in Orhei, Orgeyev in Russian or Uriv in Yiddish. So there was hope we could find something there, especially because it was also the biggest city near Olishkani. The head of the small Jewish community, Isa Mundreanu, welcomed us with open arms. Orhei memories of the past are vanishing fast, and we found nothing. But Isa knew something very important, a lead that could take us to the grave.
Да, так он мне и сказал. Соседка была, да, точно. Так вот, они хотели бы с вами встретиться.
И его отец, они из Бразилии, и его отец Mauro.
The information we have, and it may be not completely true, but that's what we have, is that the Jewish people that used to live in Olishkani could be buried in Resina.
Кладбище, оно заброшено.
We have an old Jewish cemetery which is abandoned, and of course inscriptions are in Hebrew.
Да, читать их, в принципе, здесь мы пробовали.
Здесь покоится его дедушка.
Я, честно говоря, не помню такой фамилии на Толполар.
Is there a book, a guide that you can look through?
Есть какая-то...
Моя теща пыталась что-то написать.
My mother-in-law was trying to do something. Понеси.
Ah, aqui é o cemitério.
Aqui.
This is Moldova and that is Transnistria.
And it's just across the border.
Yeah, two cities on different sides of the river.
So to cross the border, there's like a visa check-in or something?
Yes, you have to show your passport, and they don't put any stamp in your passport because Transnistria is an unrecognized state.
Cássio, ali tá o posto de checagem para atravessar para Transnistria. Aquela casa azul.
Onde?
Aquela casinha azul ali, ó.
And this is what remained from the Jewish cemetery in Resina.
Não vai lá, pai?
Não.
Where are you going, Natasha?
There are piles of stones, but nothing to read. I saw other cemeteries which were very deserted, but this is so overgrown.
Yeah, it would be really difficult actually to do an inventory of people here. O Estopolar pode estar enterrado aqui.
Quando eu era pequena, eu achava que a minha mãe era muito brava. E quando eu cresci, eu me dei conta que esse mau humor nada mais, nada menos era que uma grande depressão, porque todo mundo estava morrendo, ela não sabia da família dela.
Durante a guerra, não sabiam quem é que sobreviveu, quem não morreu.
The Holocaust displaced a lot of families around the world and interrupted the course of history. Only many years later, families were able to reconnect and patch their relations.
Até tentaram se corresponder conosco e mandaram cartas escritas em russo. E nós até compramos um dicionário russo para ver se a gente conseguia, mas não conseguimos. Aí, em seguida, veio a revolução da ditadura e nós queimamos aquele dicionário russo de medo que ficamos, né? Mas não conseguimos.
It was now time to go to Olishkani, also known as Oleshkan in Yiddish, the birthplace of the Topolars and other Jewish families. There was a good tradition in the village kept for years. When a young couple would marry, the whole village would get together and build them a new house. This helped to keep the youngsters there.
Вы господин Владимир? Да. Да, приятно. Значит, это наши гости из Бразилии, которые корнями из Олешкан. Vladimir will leave his car at the gas station and will Да. Should I tell him your story?
Yes.
Значит, я уже знаю. Your mother is from Олешкан. Father. Могила, а это его дедушка и дядя. В каком городе, не знаю. Это его отец. So this is Oleshkan. 4,000 people live in the village at present. So they have even a high school. So this is a big village. They have two churches, two cemeteries, and many.
Strada asta a fost odată asfaltată.
Once it was a paved street with asphalt. Asta e strada centrală? Principală?
Da.
This was the main street, and it is. Look to the right. And people leave home sometimes, and they cannot sell the houses.
Is there any Jewish people living here now?
Dacă sunt evrei acum în sat.
Acum evrei în satul
No. So the last Jewish person left in 1954.
Oleu! Não posso te ver,
Esse é o prefeito?
So for 36 years he worked as a secretary in the mayor's office.
It's touchy, like to imagine that our grandfather was born here. When I was younger, and Dad said, okay, my mom was born in Norhei and my dad Oliskani. I thought, probably those places don't even exist anymore. It was something very, very far away.
Yeah. They know. We will ask him. They grew up and went to. Bine, da. Mersi.
I can sit here.
You can sit here. We'll put flower here.
No, it's nice here.
Nice, yeah.
Better. Oh, yeah.
Vă zic problema în ce? Dumnealui, părinții lui sunt născuți în Oleshkan. Familia lor a fost familia.
Topolar.
Topolar. Da, nu s-a fost la primărie.
Și la ei a fost un magazin.
Tobacco.
And they were killed by their employees from the grocery shop.
Și cineva
And my
who
dad
was
said,
killed?
Annie and Meyer Topolar, his grandparents.
My grandparents were killed in 1930.
Cât am lucrat secretar, 36 de ani am lucrat.
36 years I worked
Apoi
here as a
n-am întâlnit
secretary,
așa
and I
familie.
didn't.
Topolar.
I don't know Topolar.
Topolar, nu.
Was no real Jewish cemetery, but there was a synagogue. There was a synagogue. But where did they bury them?
E ca din gropat, mă tic, nu știu, e ca nu.
I know. They are thinking who is the oldest in the village.
Și Isaki Pali.
O, Isaki Pali, e ca asta.
There is Isaki Pali.
Și Vasile Cococescu.
Dar ei sunt tieferi la cap.
Da.
Poți mergi și noi până la dânsi și ne arăți între ei și discutăm cu dânsi.
Da,
There lived David and Sarah Schmil. Yeah.
Also magazines here.
Shops, stores, were here, and here in this area there was the synagogue, and here Jews lived. So many Jews lived in this part.
Adică ce am dat? În 30.
In what
În cât?
year?
30. Dar nu ți minte evrei care trăiesc în sat, nu ți minte pe nimeni?
1932.
Nu, eu când fie am țară nu erau. Nu erau, da?
So when she was here,
Da,
there
mătale
were
prin,
no Jews
prin
already.
spuse la oameni, pe aici au trăit
But
evrei.
rumors,
Aici erau.
Ia că fie că tine erau în capete.
De Avrum și Basea.
What about Avrom? Yeah, Avrom and Basha lived here.
Iacob Leveca.
Da, da.
Tolpolar. Has she heard of
Dar
it?
familia asta tolpolar, nu-ți spune nimic tolpolar.
Tá abençoado.
Asta vedem la mesager, da?
Tem que ter cuidado com o ganso, que o ganso tá morde.
Cássio, a gente vai falar com um homem de 91 anos, que é um dos únicos 3 sobreviventes que tiveram na frente de combate da Segunda Guerra. Nasceu em 1916.
Au venit oamenii din Brazilia.
Din Brazilia.
Da, din Brazilia, da.
Din Brazilia. Ce sunt programul? Cum să fac și eu să văd Brazilia chiar?
How can I go to
Măcar o leac să văd. Și mai am ani de
He's singing in Russian the song about roads going away. Oh, he remembers the songs of the wartime and he's singing.
Părinții domnul ăsta din America s-a născut în Olișcani. În data din 31 s-a dus de Olișcani. Și poate bunelul ține
He
minte.
explains that the parents of
Poate
this
unde a fost
man,
unul casă părintească.
village 1931. So he's going to make an interrogation and then
Părinții dumnealui în 31 au plecat din
his
Olișcani în
parents in
America.
1931 left this. Can we find their parents' house?
Familia cum? Tălpălarul. Portalariu. Tălpălarul. Da.
Can you see well?
E așa fotografii, nu-ți spune
She
nimic.
has photographs. Maybe you can recognize somebody.
Un preot aici cu domnișoară.
This is a priest with a lady.
Domnișoară, acu ești.
Oh, he's commenting what he can see in the picture. He says that is a priest and this is a beautiful young man. And this is the picture from his young years. Beautiful, handsome man. He's asking the woman who else is elderly. She says most of them died.
Da, și mai am un an de zile și Dorani s-am plănit și urmă la magazin și eu copiii. Au avut cimitir în sat, ori nu? În sat
If there was a Jewish
murit acolo,
cemetery,
îi duce la Rașcu atunci.
they took them to Rashkov.
Unde la Rașcu?
Lavadul Rashkov?
Zaconul lor.
Lavadul Rashkov. Eu am fost acolo. I was there. There is a very big cemetery there.
La Rașcov, în Râmnița, în Camenca, da? La Rașcov. Rașcov e peste stați.
She's far. Vadul Rashkov.
Vado Rashkov. The first time we heard this word.
So they took the graves to Rashkov?
But it is far. I don't know. He cannot remember things. Maybe he lived at the same time. But
Yeah. Well, it's
Could we trust this man's memory?
look at these barrels. Yeah.
Why would they be buried in Vado Rashkov if the Rezina cemetery was the closest one?
știu ceva de numele Tol Polar. Nu. If it is here, it has to be on the bank of the Dniester River, and the background should be the Dniester River, but here it's not. Do we see a river in the background?
So then you said that could be Resina.
No, if it is Vadul Rashkov, we are talking about Vadul
Okay,
Rashkov.
but this could be in Resina then. What?
I don't know.
Do you know anybody at the cemetery that we can?
Vadul Rashkov?
Yeah.
There is nobody there. So this is like we were in Resina. It is a cemetery that old as the old one there.
Okay, it's like an open cemetery.
And not a single Jewish people, nothing. No people, nobody.
Tired of grave hunting and frustrated by what we saw in Resina, a totally abandoned cemetery, and unable to identify anybody, we didn't go to Vadul Rashkov. But this was not the end. We followed the lead to a tragedy that happened with our family.
Selma fell in love with my sister, and he was thinking that she's the best, the nicest woman. She was really a very nice person, very quiet, very delicate. Just 1 or 2 days before the war began, she went to Jedinec, and this was the last time.
So we are in the village of Chepeleuț, and
Yuri Zagorcha, a local historian, took us to Chepeleuț, a village near Jedinec. There, in 1941, Romanian fascists from the Kuzist party found Jews hiding in a barn and took them to a field to execute them. 5 families were murdered.
She was like tall and very elegant, blue eyes, and very blonde, beautiful woman. And they tell her, okay, you are not Jewish, go away. Yes, this is a witness tell me this. Go away. And well, they were together and that's it.
Isa never left Sioma, Yeshaya's son and Fima's younger brother. Now we knew what happened to him.
husband and wife were taken to here and killed.
Where? Here?
So here behind this fence, and Tol Polars are buried here.
So there are no graves, no graves.
It was now time to leave. Moldova seemed a country with troubled memories of its own history, just like we were. It was a privilege to be in the same place where my grandparents came from. Leaving Moldova was not the end of our story. Years passed and we discovered many things about our family. And more than that, I started a family of my own in Los Angeles, California. But something was still missing. I'm back in Moldova, now with my wife Lara
I don't know where she is.
and daughter Melina. We stayed at the very same hotel.
Tu gosta de Chisinau?
and contacted Natasha again.
They're gonna think you're famous.
Me?
Yeah, because I'm shooting you.
Marina Schreibman and Pavel Tuev joined us. Marina is the widow of the last Moldovan Yiddish writer, Ihil Schreibman. And Pavel is a specialist in grave restoration.
Нет, это не дальше. Дальше. Ну вот впереди женщина, мы спросим.
Я їх слушаю. Старий колої. Йду ще Рашкова точа.
They took them to Rashkov. Авадом Рашков?
Закону лорс.
Да, Чемитир еврейский. Ну да.
Bună ziua! Vă rog, ne spuneți unde se află cimitirul vechi evreiesc?
Mergeți aici, vă ridicați puțin la deal și sunt două drumuri acolo.
Я ту башню помню, и вот где-то налево уже.
Bună ziua! Spuneți, vă rog, unde se află cimitirul evreiesc vechi?
Aici.
Drumul ăsta de vale, da? O zi bună, la revedere!
Yeah, the main street is coming down from the hill.
Oh, there
and
it
we are,
is.
Yeah. There we go.
I see the graves already.
Yes, yes, Melina. And on the right, you can see it on the hill. Yeah, so we are like in the middle, both on the left and on the right of them. Well, actually, we can get off.
So we're finally here in Valdorashkov, the Jewish cemetery. It's a long way to come here.
What have you found, Melina? Look at the little goats, Melina.
My instinct tells me it's down there. You don't have to go immediately.
That is surreal.
Which?
People playing volleyball in an abandoned Jewish cemetery. I think I see Natasha.
You do?
Is it like the last one, the one straight ahead? A little darker?
Let's go.
Bones here too. I hope it's animal bones. Just watch out not to fall.
Yeah, I know.
So this is...
So this is the grave. Yeah.
Wow.
What can you read?
Because I know that in the original grave we have a picture when my grandfather was here with his brother and we were able to read 1930.
Yes.
Yeah, they were killed in the beginning of January in 1930.
Мер, сын Хайма.
Meir Ben Chaim. Ben Chaim.
And Haim was his... Yeah. So Tolpolar should be written somewhere.
Почистить хотите, да?
Пробовать. Оно так не очень чистится.
Так.
Мишпахат, значит, это семья здесь. Вот толполарь.
Yes, Topolar.
Where?
Ken.
Oh, Tolpolar.
Topolar. Wow.
Hey. And in the picture, my grandfather was here, and his brother was in the other place. So like where I'm here right now, he was...
Не похож на
This is not a typical monument. It does not
Это
look
typical,
like...
но он...
Да,
Они не были не бедные люди.
They were not poor people.
Oh, yes?
So they were,
По памятнику видно.
Judging by the monument, by the tombstone, we can make a conclusion that they were wealthy. Here it says husband and wife.
Where?
Иш и Ишти.
Ish, Ishti, husband and wife.
Husband and wife.
Move, Lita. Элиши. Элиши. Быть Илишка.
Elishka, да.
Elishka, village Olishkani.
Олишкань.
Village of Olishkani.
Семье Толполарь из деревни Олишкан.
To the family of Tolporalar from the village of Olishkani.
Fantastic.
Do you think this was destroyed with time? What does he think?
Как мы можем предположить, оно разрушилось от времени или это вандализм?
Здесь приложили руку тоже, как бы.
Could be vandalized to some
Потому
extent.
что вот эти части, они не могут ломаться от времени.
These should
Это
not
камень.
have been
Их
broken.
лом...
Can't believe we're here. 82 years since the last Tolpolar was here. Pai, tô aqui, pai, em Vadurashko.
Sim.
Tudo pronto aí?
Tá gravando, cara?
Sim.
Tá.
Dá pra ver assim, um cemitério grande.
Sim.
Tem vários túmulos e o túmulo desse Topolar dá pra ver lá de longe, porque é um dos maiores.
E é um túmulo grande porque estão os dois enterrados ali, né? Na época isso era uma coisa fora do comum, enterrar o casal.
Eles dizem que não é comum ter casal junto, é tudo separado, só não tem como ser restaurado. É pedra-sabão, então não tem como fincar, restaurar. Ele acha que também não vale a pena porque se restaurar vai chamar atenção e vão vandalizar. Tem um túmulo aqui que já foi restaurado e vandalizaram já.
Fica por isso mesmo e fica registrado no filme e nas fotografias. E a Melina tá junto do túmulo?
Tá sim, tá aqui junto, sim, já viu o túmulo. E...
O encontro do presente com o passado, uma coisa impossível de se acreditar tempos atrás, né? É um fato memorável. Era isso então, tudo de bom.
Tá bom, tchau.
Tá. Tchau, tchau.
Standing next to the grave, I felt for the first time something that my grandfather may have felt. I understood that my grandfather and his siblings loved their parents and tried to honor them the best way they could. And more than that, they wanted this monument to be remembered. That's why the picture was taken.
Bravo.
The grave of my great-grandparents is now partially destroyed, but it's still there. It survived wars, vandalism, the weather. It was just waiting for us to discover it after so many years. It reminds us that we had a story here.
Marina told me in secret.
One can say that most of the Moldovan Jewish community is now old and poor, that symbols of the once vibrant life are gone, and that soon enough there will be no more Jews in the country. But I saw people who are adapting to a new reality, who love being Jewish, and are struggling for revitalization. I never had memories of my grandparents. I tried to go back to the past to establish a connection with my ancestors. And now I see the future in front of me.
Melina, vou pegar.